Good morning everyone, welcome back to another video. It's been a little while, been so busy, but today I have got a day to work on the bikes, or bike should I say. Today I'm going to be working on the barn find bike, and I plan to strip the entire bike down to every single part. I'm going to be rebuilding this engine, which is going to be, it's a daunting task for me. I've never done it before. It's going to be a full engine rebuild, I believe it's going to need. But today I plan to strip the whole bike down. So I'm going to show you the bike. Also, I'm going to show you the other NC30 that I've been working on and where it's at the moment. All right, guys. So this is the one that is almost complete. Mechanically, it is complete, except for I just haven't put the brakes on. And I need to put a new chain on because I did get rid of the old chain. As you can see here, I need to put a new chain on. I already got some little surface rusting on here. I'll clean that up, but yeah, this bike is pretty much done. It's running quite nice. So we're going to push this aside for now, and we're going to turn our attention to this monstrosity under here. So I'm going to show you it now. So I got this bike a couple of weeks back now. I did do a walkthrough video on it to show you guys how bad condition it is in. This bike was left outside for quite a while. It hasn't been running for approximately 15 years. So you can imagine the state of this thing. We did have some water ingress in here where we could see some of the valves here have some surface rust in it. The engine itself has a lot of water had been sitting here, so there's some corrosion in the aluminium. There's just a lot of the shock is completely rusted out. These front wheel bearings, I guess I can barely even turn that wheel, so it's a bit of a struggle pushing it. This subframe has a lot of rust. I'm probably just going to replace this whole thing. I don't know if I'm going to even bother trying to get this rust off. This really needs sandblasting, but in some places I feel like it might be too far gone. The frame is in very good condition, so obviously the frame is important to keep because that's what's matched to the logbook and the paperwork and so on. The loom is all good, all works, because we did get ignition and we did crank the engine. We got it to start for a few seconds using sort of fuel igniter and all that stuff, spray and that. So pretty confident we can get this bike running. So today's job is to take it down as far down to parts as possible. Now, unlike when I did the other one, it took me a little bit longer because I'd never done it before. I had to be very careful with where the parts went and stuff. Whereas in this bike, I think I can be a little bit more sort of just strip it down and put them all in boxes, because I do have another bike now which is fully assembled and I can use it to reference where all the parts go. So it should be easier to rebuild. So that way, I'm literally just going to take everything off bit by bit in any order and just chuck them all in some crates and just get this thing right down to the frame. Very importantly, I want to get to the engine, get the engine out, because probably one of the first jobs I want to do is actually start stripping the engine down and really assessing the engine. We didn't have great compression on this engine either, so we got to see really, but I'm pretty sure that these valves are a big reason for the bad compression, being that at least one of them is quite rusty. So alright guys, without further ado, let's get the tools out and let's start stripping this down. coolant reservoir. Get rid of that. One good thing about working on the other bike is that I almost know this bike at the back of my hand. A lot of the bolts I'm just going to put them back in like this so I know where they are, where they go back. Although there are a lot of parts that are shot on this bike, there are a lot of parts that actually are quite good condition. Being at the bike, I think this bike had about 7,000 to 8,000 miles on it. So a lot of the parts are in fairly good condition. Obviously the metal parts that were exposed to the elements is where most of the damage of this thing is. So once a lot of these parts do get cleaned up, and obviously some of the metal parts get replaced or restored, you should have a good bike. I'm still playing with the idea. I did ask you guys for some suggestions. I'm playing with the idea of doing something a bit different with this bike. Possibly a cafe racer. I'm slightly leaning towards that at the moment. If I do go with that, it might make some of the build easier in that I will probably end up painting a lot of the parts. Because if I do it, I would probably like to have it in sort of like a satin black. I mean, painting parts makes it a lot easier to sort of make parts look good and restore them and so on. So I'm not 100%, but I'm very high up there with what I'm going to do with it. Being that I've got the other NC30, which is going to be pretty much original, you know. But if I keep it, then maybe I'll have it something different. If I'm decided I'm going to sell it, I'll probably just make it original and then just sell it on. So all these shocks are completely gone. So I've got a few bits to buy for this bike. Nowhere as near as much parts I had to buy for the last one, so that's a good thing. What I really should have done before I started was just spraying certain bolts with penetrating fluid, because I know some of these things are going to be really hard to get off. Quite rusted bad. Give them some time to soak. There's a little screw here. I never noticed that on the other bike. There's already something I've noticed that I realised on the other bike. This this rear mudguard was always a bit loose here, like it felt like it should be secured. And there's actually a screw that screws a little tab to the frame with a simple bolt, and that would actually sort the issue out. I didn't realize that. I've only seen that now, so that's why I couldn't get it off, because I didn't have this bolt on my one. Pretty sure I got loads of these bolts, and I've just had a look at the other bike and I can see the tab hanging right there, and it just needs bolting in. So there you go. That's something I can sort out on the other bike quite easily. There we go. This little bolt here screws the plastic to the frame here. All right, that's our subframe coming off. So this is actually in really good condition, so this will definitely be kept. Give it a good clean up. It actually has the reflector, which a lot of them don't have. This literally just needs cleaning up. It's good to go. Not sure about the rusty subframe though. But if I do the cafe racer, I would probably end up hacking this subframe anyway. Probably cutting it short and getting it welded or something, so it might not be so bad if we do that. If we go original, it's much simpler just to buy another one of these. Oh, this was loose already. Hi guys, so update. I managed to get the bike stripped. Did it all in one day. Yeah, it's taken me a couple of hours, been working on this. You can see the state of this engine. It's just really filthy. A lot of rusty bits like that. Screws like this. This stuff here looks like it's probably going to clean up quite well. You can see all the corrosion was where water was sitting, corroding the aluminium. So obviously I'm gonna have to give this a good clean tomorrow. I'm gonna clean it and then start disassembling it. That's gonna be the plan. And I think the first thing I'm gonna work on is the engine, as far as restoring and rebuilding the engine. That's gonna be the first thing. And maybe we can get it bench tested or something like that. So that's probably gonna be the first job. So what I managed to get out is this whole bucket full of bits. This is most of the large bits. The carbs are in there as well. We've got the frame here, which obviously is going to need a good clean up. It's absolutely filthy. The front part of the bike, these forks, you can see the state of these forks. So these forks are going to have to be, I'm not sure whether we can save this. Maybe we can replace these, the bearings or bits in here, and maybe this part of the fork will be fine, and maybe replace these, I'm not sure, or otherwise have to get completely new ones. The brakes, they don't look too bad actually. I'm sure I can clean those up and reseal them like I did with the other bike. New brake disc and all that stuff. So yeah, the bearings are pretty much seized up, so definitely new bearings on that. And obviously we're going to get the wheels repainted as well. So that's the front end of the bike. The back end of the bike is a similar story. You can see the state of this shock is completely gone. I actually have another shock here, so I might be able to use it. Obviously new sprocket. It's going to be new bearings as well. Obviously it's going to get a complete clean up, repaint the wheel, and obviously rebuild the brakes as well, new brake lines, everything. So most of this is going to be replaced, to be honest, and new. I do have another swing arm as well, whole section, which I took from the other bike. So I'll judge which one's in best condition, and then I will use them. Obviously, you saw me struggling with one of those bolts. It was just rusted, so it was really hard to get it out, but I managed to get it off after a lot of hard work. But yeah, this is where I'm at. So this is the second bike that's completely stripped. Let's get on this hopefully tomorrow, so look out for tomorrow's video. I'll try and see if I can get a video out tomorrow on that. And obviously, if you want to continue to follow this build, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you can get notified of videos as I put them out, and let's see if we can rebuild this bike back to its former glory. So guys, from me to you, this is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys are having a blessed weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.